To me, there are two ways to think about meal prep. And while one of those ways is the I wish I was doing anything else view, I choose to think of it as an hour or two I get to spend in the kitchen exploring new flavors. So today I'm sharing 3 simple but exciting meal prep recipes that use a simple 2-container meal prep method that I think are well worth a shot. I'm making a Peruvian style shrimp with quinoa, shishito peppers, and a delicious Aji Verde sauce, a 20-minute pasta with a caramelized fennel and sausage ragu with broccoli rabe, and Malaysian style chicken thighs with coconut rice, cabbage, and an aromatic and delicious dressing. Let's jump right into this Peruvian shrimp. Aji Verde is a delicious and bright Peruvian sauce, so grab your food processor and add half a jalapeño, 1 bunch of cilantro with a few sprigs set aside for later, 1 bunch of mint also with a few sprigs set aside for later, 35 grams of ají amarillo pepper paste, which is a delicious bright orange hot pepper condiment, 5 grams of salt, 2 limes zest, and 2 limes or 70 grams of lime juice. This is where all the flavor and work of the sauce is, and you can certainly toss a cup of mayo in there, turn the machine on, and call it done, but today I'm making my own emulsion by adding 2 egg yolks, turning the machine on, and then slowly drizzling in 250 milliliters of grapeseed oil. When you think about the difference between adding a bunch of stuff into a food processor versus also adding a bunch of stuff into a food processor and then slowly adding another thing into it, you might realize that it only takes an extra minute, and there are massive benefits to this approach. Store-bought mayo is thick and really designed to be spread on sandwiches, but with this recipe, you end up with not only a much more delicious, but also a thinner sauce, which is gonna work much better in this particular format. And don't get me wrong, I like store-bought mayo as much as the next guy, but just look at this ingredient list. I usually recognize most of the chemicals on these labels, but calcium disodium EDTA, your guess is as good as mine. Next, I'm going with the glorious quinoa. For this one, I added 1 cup of the grain to a cold pot with 2 cups of water, about a tablespoon of salt, tossed the lid on, and simmered it for about 10 minutes. While that's cooking, throw 1 pound of peeled and deveined shrimp into a bowl and dust them heavily with ground cumin, then season them with salt. Get a pan hot enough so your high heat cooking oil, grapeseed in my case, lightly smokes when you pour it in. Then add all of the shrimp. There's nothing worse than an overcooked shrimp, so you want to make sure your pan is nice and hot and sear them for a few minutes on one side. See how many you can flip in one go, and then flip the rest by hand. Cook them for another minute or so, pour them out of your pan, and then add 3 cups of shishito peppers. If you haven't tried these yet, you are in for a treat. Season them with salt and blister them for a few minutes while you stir occasionally. And once they're almost ready, toss in the leaves from the rest of the mint bunch you set aside from making the sauce. Adding the mint at the very end like this will really bomb all of the shishitos with its aroma. This is delicious, and you should probably eat some of it right now with the rest of the cilantro you saved from the Aji Verde. But assuming you're setting at least some of it aside, this is where the 2-container method really shines, because if you tossed the sauce right into the container with everything else, don't get me wrong, it will still be delicious, but it will be far better if you reheat the shrimp bowl alone, or in my case, just toss it on your counter for 30 minutes and then mix the sauce in. This simple method for separating what should be reheated from what shouldn't is an easy hack that will really open some doors when it comes to serving food later. Next up is the 20-minute pasta with a simple ragu of dried sausage, caramelized fennel, and broccoli rabe. I'm not claiming that this is the best meat sauce you can make for pasta, but it's pretty delicious, and it really only takes 20 minutes to cook. The recipe is simple. 2 heads of fennel, a couple of cloves of garlic, 1 jar of passata, aka tomato puree, a pound of rigatoni pasta, and 1 dried salami, 5 ounces in my case. I went with this fancy fennel salami, but any style will work. The only ingredient in this recipe that I would recommend spending anything extra on is the tomatoes. This type of quickly cooked tomato sauce really rewards high quality tomatoes. So I would strongly encourage you to get the nicest tomato passata you can. And of course, 1 bunch of broccoli rabe, which as far as I'm concerned, goes perfectly with the tomato sauce. Peel and chop the cloves of garlic and the 2 heads of fennel. Dice up your salami, then add it and the fennel to a pot over medium-high heat. There's plenty of fat in the dried sausage, so you do not need any oil to cook this, while occasionally stirring for about 5 minutes until the fennel and the sausage are both deeply caramelized. Then toss in the garlic and cook it for just about a minute. You're going to have this delicious fond on the bottom of the pan. If you happen to have a bottle of red wine lying around, you should probably use that, but I do not, so I added a little bit of water and scraped all of the bits up. Now pour in your tomatoes and slowly simmer the sauce while you bring a pot of water to the boil. Once your water is boiling, season it with enough salt so the water tastes fully seasoned, almost like a water soup, if you will. Throw in the pasta and set a timer for 2 minutes less than how you would prefer to cook it. My package says al dente in 11 to 13 minutes, so I set a timer for 9 minutes. Stir the pasta occasionally, and once the timer goes off, toss in the chopped up head of broccoli rabe. Cook it all for the remaining 2 minutes, and then strain it out and mix it with the sauce. Add salt to taste, and that's it. You could definitely level this up with fresh sausages and ground meats, but for a 20-minute meat sauce, this turned out pretty nicely. I set aside a small jar of grated parm. And finally, the Malaysian style chicken thighs with coconut rice and cabbage. This is a simple marinate and bake chicken thigh recipe. I grabbed my blender and added half a cinnamon stick, 4 grams of green cardamom, 30 grams or 1 shallot, 30 grams or 1 head of peeled garlic minus 3 cloves that we're going to use in just a minute, 1 stalk of lemongrass, a nice chunk of peeled ginger, also 30 grams, 6 fresh Kaffir lime leaves, 30 grams of peeled galangal, 4 grams of ground turmeric, and about half a can of coconut milk. We're going to use the rest for the rice, so make sure to shake this up well before you pour it in. Some of these ingredients are harder to come by than others, particularly Kaffir lime and galangal. Kaffir lime might have changed my life the first time I smelled it, but to be honest with you, I think this recipe will still be almost as delicious without either of them. Blend the marinade up and pour it over a couple packs of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The total weight of the chicken for me was around 2 pounds. This is only going to get better the longer it marinates, but you want to keep it in there for at least 30 minutes. Then lay them out onto a sheet tray, drizzle them lightly with grapeseed oil, and throw them into a 400-degree oven for 12 minutes. While that's working, add a cup of jasmine rice to a pot along with the rest of the can of coconut milk, and then add enough water so you have about a knuckle between the top of the rice and the top of the water. Season it with salt and simmer it for about 12 minutes until it's cooked. This dressing is basically a simple vinegar, fish sauce, and garlic one. That said, I have a bunch of palm sugar lying around, so I started by adding 10 grams of it to my jar and melted it with a little bit of hot water. Then I added the 3 cloves of garlic from before that I sliced up, and a big handful of Szechuan chili powder, 80 grams of rice vinegar, and 30 grams of fish sauce. Palm sugar is an amazing product that can be bought online, but feel free to sub it with honey or honestly skip it altogether. Once the rice is cooked, throw it into your containers with some chopped up cabbage leaves. If you want to do your future self a favor, slice the chicken before you add it. I bomb this with black sesame. This has quickly become a favorite with me and my wife. But anyway, that is all for me on this one. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.